How does a player with one of the most troublesome serves in tennis turn this glaring weakness into his most reliable weapon? You're looking at perhaps the greatest and most dramatic transformation of a shot in tennis history. I'm talking about Novak Djokovic and his serve, going from highly deficient mechanics to sheer domination on the ATP Tour. Today, we're providing an exclusive, behind-the-scenes look at Djokovic's serve journey to uncover how he systematically eliminated biomechanical flaws over the years. We'll highlight key factors like the awkward elbow angle that got in Djokovic's way for years, the step-by-step process to build a world-class serve, enduring similarities before and after his transformation, and what you can learn to upgrade your serve. Strap in for a fascinating ride into the athletic ingenuity that unlocked greatness for one of tennis's most relentless warriors, Novak Djokovic. By the end, you'll discover that deficits in skill can actually set the foundation for excellence with the right mindset and expert guidance. Let's dive right in. Like many tennis players, Djokovic's serve mechanics have evolved quite a bit over his career as he sought to maximize performance. I'm Pro Coach David Sandi, and I'm no stranger to tweaking serve technique either. As a tennis coach, I've changed my own service motion dozens of times over the years in an effort to optimize fluidity, power, and accuracy. At certain points, I'll admit I was totally lost about which adjustments were actually effective. But through extensive study of serve biomechanics, trial and error practice, and taking smart risks and learning from experience, I sharpened my serve significantly. But let's forget about me for now and delve deeper into the serve progression journey of Novak Djokovic. Djokovic's elbow issue. Can you imagine struggling with serve technique for years despite being one of the top players in the world? That was Novak Djokovic's reality for a long time. He knew his serve lacked power and fluidity but didn't know how to fix it. Root cause? An elbow positioning issue that increased injury risk and created biomechanical inefficiencies. Let's analyze the problem in more detail. If you examine older videos of Djokovic serving, you'll notice that he used to have a more L-shaped angle in his elbow, which placed strain on his shoulder and led to elbow problems. He wasn't allowing enough space between his elbow and body during the rotation preparation. This uncomfortable position placed enormous strain on his shoulder joint and rotator cuff muscles. It also prevented proper activation and coordination of the kinetic chain, reducing power and control. The faulty elbow angle had ripple effects throughout Djokovic's serve, making it jerky, inconsistent, and vulnerable to breakdowns under pressure. With his rotator cuff muscles overworked, even slight mistakes in timing or footwork could aggravate his shoulder and lead to painful inflammation. Clearly, the elbow issue severely impacted serve performance and longevity. It had to be fixed urgently. The good news? Biomechanical corrections could systematically eliminate the problem and unlock Djokovic's full serving potential. With determination and expert guidance, deficient technique could transform into core strength. Djokovic just needed to take the first step. Djokovic swallows his ego to transform his serve. It's truly astounding how much Djokovic's serve has evolved since 2010. Back then, his service motion was extremely awkward, featuring technical deficiencies that heavily compromised performance. Observing footage from 2010, you'll be shocked to see how erratic and unreliable Djokovic's serve looked, especially for a world number 3 at the time. He was leaking double faults frequently and struggling to hit aces. So, how did he manage to completely transform this glaring weakness into the most reliable weapon? The root cause was willingness to push ego aside, go back to basics, and rebuild his serve step by step through drills, emphasizing solid fundamentals. That took immense humility and commitment for a champion of his stature. Look at Djokovic here, practicing basic serve progressions alongside coach Todd Martin. Swallowing pride, he was ready to endure looking amateurish in front of crowds to embed superior technique. Few top athletes have the courage to break down their game and fix gross inefficiencies in public view. People often stick to flawed methods because making radical changes carries the risk of short-term setbacks. However, Djokovic was determined to unlock his full potential, and excelling in high-pressure moments demanded an excellent serve to back up baseline brilliance. No doubt the serve overhaul process was incredibly challenging physically and mentally, but the payoff was more than worth it, as evident from Djokovic's unprecedented dominance across surfaces in recent years. His inspiring example proves that unlocking greatness requires going back to basics, maintaining an openness to learn, and dedicating yourself fully towards leveling up your weakness. Being truly phenomenal in tennis comes down to keeping things simple. Novak's exercises are good for improving serve technique, but they don't really dive into the biomechanics side of things. There are better exercises out there for that. A lot of the info floating around is just surface level and not backed by science. Serve similarities then and now. Despite adjustments over the years, Djokovic's new and improved serve retains certain similarities to his original motion. Identifying enduring patterns is insightful because it tells us what worked even with deficient biomechanics. Refining those aspects enhanced natural strengths. So exactly what serve motion similarities has Djokovic retained from his early days on tour to prime dominance now? Let's find out. 1. Unit fluidity. As a young player, Djokovic already had quite a fluid serve action with decent rhythm and tempo. While he couldn't achieve ideal trophy positioning, the compact backswing and forward swing flowed decently. Consistent, controlled toss. Surprising as it may seem, Djokovic's toss stands out as a relative strength even when his overall serve struggled. The controlled, consistent toss provided a foundation for tweaks to unlock excellence. Leg drive emphasis. Right from his early days, Djokovic utilized strong leg drive to partially compensate for less efficient kinetic chain coordination upstream. Mental resilience. Despite physical limitations with his serve, Djokovic showcased mental tenacity during clutch moments even back in 2004. This backbone enabled tight service games and occasional big serves under pressure. Currently, Djokovic's unflappable mental strength shines brightest on monumental service points. Recognizing these persistent patterns helped Djokovic's coaching team decide where to focus and make adjustments, instead of completely changing things. This accelerated serve enhancement, truly inspiring. Biomechanical deficiencies over the years. Now that we've seen similarities in Djokovic's serve over the years, let's analyze key differences caused by deficient biomechanics earlier in his career. Excess elbow angle. As observed before, Djokovic's elbow stayed excessively close to the body during the rotation, obstructing efficient force transfer up the kinetic chain and placing abnormal strain on the shoulder and elbow joint. Insufficient elbow back clearance. With inadequate space between his straight serving arm and back, Djokovic couldn't achieve optimal layback position to enable complete shoulder turn and coil required for elastic energy storage and subsequent release. Vertical racket angle at takeback. Djokovic's early serve featured the racket face pointing upwards excessively on takeback. This indicates inability to externally rotate the shoulder required to achieve ideal trophy position, reducing kinetic chain connectivity. Thoracic stiffness. Noticeably apparent in footage from 2004 to 2008, Djokovic clearly lacked thoracic and shoulder mobility on serve takeback and weight transfer steps. Beyond just aesthetics, these glaring flaws in Djokovic's old serve had severe downstream effects, crippling performance and increasing injury risk. Let's analyze deeper what was happening from a biomechanics standpoint. The dysfunctional positions and motions generated muscular stiffness rather than elasticity and fluidity required for effortless power. When the core stability muscles are too tight, energy leaks can occur, compromising the smooth transfer of ground reaction forces from the legs and hips to the shoulder and elbow. This starves the kinetic chain upstream, resulting in less electrical activation driving big muscles. Consequently, Djokovic had to overly rely on smaller muscles like the rotator cuff to force serve production. But these smaller muscles close to the joint weren't designed to produce power without coordination from larger counterparts. Overburdening the rotator cuff and elbow to compensate led to painful inflammation and hampered performance sustainability when pushing to maximize serve velocity. It created a negative loop. The harder Djokovic tried to hit big serves, the higher the chance of shoulder injury and breakdowns. Mentally, lacking innate rhythm and fluidity in his serve also eroded confidence in pressure moments. With biomechanics amplifying volatility, Djokovic grew hesitant on crucial service points. The main issue was a lack of connection, causing a lack of smooth coordination between upper and lower body movements. Without a coordinated sequence, Djokovic leaked force, turned passive, and couldn't summon his best when it mattered most. Over time, his improved ability to rotate the torso and shoulders unlocked serve speed and precision. Letting the upper back turn freely keeps the ball toss shoulder aligned longer, ensuring clean impact geometry.